The Vault Hunters gathered at the edge of Shadow Grove's main street as the morning sun climbed above the horizon, cutting through the mist still lingering over the town. Smoke from the cremation pyre had long since faded, but the scars of the attack remained. Adriel jogged toward them with purpose, her cloak flowing behind her, and Bubo gliding overhead before landing neatly on her shoulder. "Good morning, Fatamakers," she greeted with a small smile. "We have a huge break in intel. Bubo spotted Eladir in a town called Meadow. He also saw Deianira in a small mining spot called Misthal Village." Suidas tilted her head. "Who's Bubo?" Adriel motioned to the owl perched calmly beside her. "This is Bubo, my eyes in the skies." Cliff crossed his arms. "And what about Eladir and Deianira? What can we expect?" Adriel's tone shifted slightly. "Eladir is our cleric. He's in a place of peace. Meadowview's a quiet little village. You should have no trouble speaking with him. He's wise, calm, and he'll listen." She sighed before continuing. "Now, Deianira, on the other hand, is a tougher sell. Our rogue. She's resourceful, cunning, and not easily convinced. She's in Misthal Village, deep in the mining region. Hyperius used to run that spot, but it's been quiet since their withdrawal. If she's there, she's hiding from something or someone. Offer gold, explain the stakes. She may listen." Bubo gave a low hoot as if to confirm the sightings. Adriel stepped back and gave a small wave of encouragement. "Okay, Vault Hunters, do your thing." The fate of Shadow Grove and the rest of Pandora was waiting. The morning air in Shadow Grove was still heavy with the scent of burnt timber and sorrow. The Vault Hunters stood in a loose circle at the center of the ruined main street, surrounded by the quiet rubble of what once was a bustling town. Smoke curled faintly from still smouldering Magitech wreckage. Adriel, Luna, and Lord Sadler had returned to planning efforts, leaving the decision of where to go next to the Fatemakers. Cliff leaned against a cracked stone pillar, arms crossed. "If we go after Deianira first, we'll likely be walking into a trap. Rogues don't sit around in mining villages unless there's a reason." Mr. Phantom nodded, his glowing eyes fixed on the scorched horizon. "Misthal sounds like a place crawling with danger. No telling if Hyperius has truly pulled out." Suidas glanced down the street at the remains of Lucky's Tavern. "Let's play it smart. Meadowview sounds peaceful. If Eladir is really there, we should get him first. A cleric on our side before a rogue sounds like the right kind of balance." Cliff shrugged. "Fine by me. Not looking to get stabbed in my sleep by someone we haven't even recruited yet." Suidas gave a short nod. "We head to Meadowview." Mr. Phantom stepped forward and withdrew Godric's staff from his back. The twisted wooden relic hummed faintly in his grasp, the orange crystal at its head beginning to glow with gathering power. He focused, recalling the name of the village. A low pulse of light vibrated through the ground, and a shimmering portal began to open before them. The air cracked with magical tension as the swirling gateway stabilized, its edges flickering with orange energy. Without another word, the Vault Hunters prepared to step through. The shimmering portal collapsed behind them with a soft whoomph as the Vault Hunters stepped onto a winding cobblestone path. The air was crisp and fresh, soothingly cool, with the scent of moss and river spray. They had arrived in Meadowview. The first thing they noticed was the height. The entire town sat on a wide mountain plateau, with steep cliffs edging its far side. A massive waterfall roared in the distance, carving its way down into a series of rivers that wound gracefully through the settlement. These streams sparkled in the daylight, threading between homes, shops, and lush terraced farmland before spilling off the edge into the valley far below. The peace was disarming. The Vault Hunters paused for a moment, almost stunned by the sheer contrast. After the horrors of Shadow Grove, this place felt untouched, timeless, idyllic. As they passed through the ivy-draped Lychgate into the heart of Meadowview, they stepped into a cobblestone square. To the left, a broad staircase led up to a large wooden structure with a red and white sign swinging gently in the breeze, Cedric's Fizzies. Music and laughter drifted from its many windows. Inside, patrons clinked glasses, danced and sang, the warmth of celebration spilling into the street. To their right, the town unfurled into a gentle slope of clustered wooden buildings wrapped in greenery. Flower boxes overflowed with bright colours and lanterns gently swayed from vine-covered posts. Somewhere farther in the distance, the faint toll of a temple bell echoed beneath bird song and river rush. Suidas gave a soft whistle. Hard to believe a place like this still exists. Cliff nodded. Makes me wonder what the catch is. Mr. Phantom silently scanned the surroundings, fingers never far from his weapon. Even paradise could hide shadows. But for now, Meadowview was peaceful. The hunt for Elodie had officially begun. The Vault Hunters followed the winding cobblestone road through Meadowview, their boots tapping in rhythm with the distant roar of the waterfall. The town was serene, idyllic even, and nestled amid this tranquility was the most boisterous building they'd seen all day. Cedric's Fizzies. From the outside it looked modest, yet incredibly cheerful. Warm lantern light glowed behind beautifully carved timber pillars. The scent of roasted meats and sweet ale hung in the air. The noise, laughter, song, and the stomp of dancing boots spilled into the street and wrapped the Vault Hunters in a welcoming embrace. Pushing open the worn wooden door, they were hit with the full force of the tavern's energy. Inside, the atmosphere was alive. Candles mounted on thick support beams flickered wildly as the crowd moved and sang. The walls were crowded with shelves packed full of travel memorabilia, dusty maps, strange relics, and signed tankards from distant lands. The air buzzed with warmth and life. The place was packed. Long tables held laughing groups of adventurers, their mugs sloshing as they cheered another verse of a bawdy song. Smaller tables were occupied by dancing couples and wild-eyed drinkers, one of whom was trying to pull a serving girl into a jig with questionable coordination. The bar was lined with patrons, most of whom were women, each pretending not to eye the bartender as he worked. That bartender, Cedric Massey, was unmistakable. Chestnut hair, immaculately swept back, grey eyes that twinkled like he had a secret to share with every soul he greeted. Several moles dotted his boyishly handsome face, and despite the chaos behind the bar, he moved with ease, graceful, powerful, brawny. He gave the Vault Hunters a quick wave and a grin, never missing a beat as he poured 3 mugs, flipped a bottle into the air, caught it behind his back and winked at a swooning customer. Suidas leaned across the bar as the group found a rare empty table. "We're looking for Elodie. You seen him?" Cedric wiped his hands on a towel slung over his shoulder. "Oh, our good old friend Elodie? Yeah, he's at the Tumbling Temple, just up the path through town. You'll have to cross the rapids, though. Either take the dock east, there's a boat tied there, or if you're feeling lucky, try the lily pads north of town. They don't always bite." He chuckled and slid a laminated Fizzy's Tavern menu across the table. The Vault Hunters ordered a round of drinks and a bite to eat. Suidas went with roasted rabbit skewers and mushroom ale. Mr. Phantom requested the darkest stout they had, served in the most ominous-looking tankard available. Cliff's eyes caught a particular drink near the bottom of the menu. The feeling's mutual, with a skull and crossbones beside it. "May make you feel extremely good or extremely bad," he shrugged. "Let's roll the dice." Moments after the first gulp, Cliff went deathly still. Then he blinked hard and screamed. "There's pixies in my mouth!" He jumped onto the table, knocking over Suidas's ale. Patrons turned, startled, as he flailed, desperately trying to pry open his own jaw. "They want my teeth! They want all of them!" He swatted at the air like he was fighting invisible enemies, then belly-flopped across a stranger's table, scattering plates and crashing into a bowl of pickled onions. With wild eyes and foam on his lips, he tried to climb the wall, only to slide back down and knock over a mounted hunting trophy. Suidas simply sipped her drink and muttered, "This again." Mr. Phantom leaned towards Cedric, deadpan. "This happen often?" Cedric burst out laughing as he casually slid another drink down the bar. "Every time. New customers always go for that one." Cliff, meanwhile, had leapt into the arms of a burly dwarf, pleading for protection from the gleaming, tooth-hungry fairy swarm. The dwarf looked mildly impressed. Eventually, after knocking over 3 chairs, a table, and accidentally proposing to a very confused gnome woman, Cliff began to calm down. He slumped back into his chair, eyes wide and glassy. "They're gone, but I think they took my molars." Suidas raised a glass. "To survival," Mr. Phantom nodded, "and poor choices." Cedric gave a hearty laugh and raised a drink in toast. "Welcome to Fizzy's, Vault Hunters. You're going to fit in just fine." The warm air inside Cedric's fizzies seemed to soften the rough edges of the world outside. Music still filled the space, but the Vault Hunters had finally found a pocket of calm. Cliff nursed a glass of water with shaky hands, still recovering from the drink that had tried to unmake his sanity. Mr. Phantom leaned back in his seat, the firelight reflecting off the smooth surface of his mask. Suidas had her boots kicked up, swirling her drink slowly in thought. After a long moment of silence between them, Mr. Phantom tilted his head towards Suidas. "You still collecting trophies?" Suidas smirked, sipping her drink before replying. "Maybe." He watched her for a moment, the glow from the candle between them dancing in the dark lenses of his mask. "Maybe." She leaned forward a little. "I like having something to remember a fight by. A reminder that they lost, that I didn't." There was something playful in her voice, but also an edge, something far more serious than she let on. She raised her brow at him. "And what about you? Always hiding behind that mask. Why?" Mr. Phantom paused, fingers resting gently on the edge of his glass. "Because it's easier." Suidas looked at him, waiting. He exhaled. "I was always quiet, a loner. Before all this, I didn't talk to people, didn't like people. I was just a weird, obsessive kid in a workshop full of broken tech. Then the world got louder, and I didn't know how to live in it." He looked between the two of them. "Then I met you, and Cliff. And for the first time, the noise didn't feel so overwhelming." Suidas smiled faintly, nodding once in understanding. Cliff shifted in his seat, then reached for the bottle, only to pull his hand back with a grimace. "I got something too." The others looked at him. Cliff rubbed the back of his neck and stared down at the table. "I joke a lot, drink a lot more, but that's not just habit. I've got a problem." He drummed his fingers on the table, started as a way to deal with the guilt. People I couldn't save. Friends I watched die. You drink enough, you stop remembering their names every night. His voice caught in his throat, but he pushed through it. "You two are the first people in a long time I've actually felt safe around. Like I'm not just some drunk with a gun. Like I matter." Suidas reached out and clinked her glass gently against his. "You do matter," she said. Mr. Phantom nodded, raising his glass with a soft gesture. "Yeah," he said. "We're not just Vault Hunters, we're a crew." There was no more music in that moment. Just the quiet understanding of three broken people, each carrying their scars, each finding something whole in one another.